here with Gary Christenson. This is the 1/365th podcast, the second episode. Thank you for coming back and viewing this one. If you saw the first one, thank you for watching that. But here we are, Mayor Gary Christenson.
Pleasure. Good to see you.
Nice to be with you again.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
Thank you for being here. Actually, thanks for allowing us in this office, honestly.
Absolutely. Careful, though. We might put you to work.
Yeah, I hope you would. Could use a job, honestly.
Well, we could use the help.
Yeah, good to know. So you've been mayor since 2011. You were elected. 12 you started, right?
Yes.
I guess for those that don't know you, I'm sure many people who are watching this do know you and are aware of you. But do you want to just maybe talk about how you got to become mayor, where you were before that, maybe where you want to go next, maybe, if you know?
Sure. I could definitely answer the first question,
Yeah.
which was, this was a lifelong dream of mine that started at Malden High School across the street. And took me roughly 30 some odd years to get here. And so what I try to tell the students today, that life is still about hard work and dedication. And if they do that, they too can achieve. So along the way, I served on the school committee for roughly 5 years, and then the city council for 8 years, and now mayor for 6. And during some of that time, I also worked for the Commonwealth of Mass, the state, for roughly 17, 18 years. So it's been a life of public service.
I was going to say, this is just through and through.
Yep, and it was Malden High School where I knew, that's where I found out what I wanted to do.
You went and graduated from Malden High School?
Yes.
Nice.
And then Suffolk University, I have a bachelor's, master's, and a law degree.
So just the mayoral program.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah. I never thought of it that way, but it was definitely the Malden Public Schools that helped set it up for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they gave me the opportunity to dream and you know, to put the wheels in motion and achieve.
That's great.
It is. It's a day. It's something that I never forget about on a daily basis.
How can you?
You can't. And if you do, then you need to get out.
That's the truth.
You know, it's like Breno Giacomini,
Mm-hmm.
who also was a Malden High School graduate in 2004, I believe, where
Mm-hmm.
he wanted to play in the NFL and win a Super Bowl, and he did. But the one thing he's never forgotten about is our city. He runs a camp for the kids every summer over at McDonald Stadium.
Yeah.
So, you know, I try to do the same thing. I've been in office now 6 years. You know, some people have said, hey, why don't you take your foot off the pedal? But I refuse to do that, because when you do, then what's the point?
Mm-hmm. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Excellent. So this show is obviously, you know, we just have a little conversation based around some photos that I took of you last summer.
All right.
The date was June 1st of 2017.
Okay, hopefully none of them were sleeping, right?
Yeah.
I was on the job that day, working hard?
I think you were working. I think you kept me working too. We were both working for sure.
All right.
So we'll just get things started here. The very first shot. This was in the morning. I believe I met you and we just started walking to work. That's what's going on here?
Sure.
What's in the bag? Your lunch?
I wish.
Yeah.
But it's actually litter.
Yeah.
And I'm not quite sure how this came about, but I think in 2013, I thought to myself, I should probably stop walking and you know, getting out there. Because the first year I was driving.
Was it to be fit, or was it just to be seen, just to have an eye and ear on the scene?
I guess it was a combination.
Yeah.
You know, it didn't make sense to me to drive a couple blocks to work.
True.
Also, I wanted to be able to see what was going on out there, and there's no better way to do that than by walking.
Right.
And then while I was doing that, I noticed litter, and I just said, you know, why not do two things at once?
Yeah.
Walk, get fit, see the city, and also try to do my part in keeping it clean.
It's the perfect trifecta.
I just never thought it would have taken off to the degree it has today.
Yeah.
Now people, when they come up
You're
to
known
me,
for it.
they
Yeah.
don't say you're the mayor. They say, you're the guy that picks up trash in a suit, right? And that's how I'm known. So, you know, and I know it's going to be probably dirty the next day, but hopefully someone sees me, a student.
Right. I
You
was
know,
just going to say, it's more so that you're leading the charge, you know? You're walking the walk, so to speak.
You know, I want people to be proud and feel good about where they live, and so that's why, you know, I do what I can when I can.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thinking is that who knows, someone coming in at that particular time that's looking to invest in our city looks clean.
Right.
Maybe that's another reason why they make the move to Malden.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another small reason why I do it.
It's admirable for sure.
I don't know. Some people have called it other things.
They're wrong.
But
they're wrong.
yeah,
it takes a second to pick up a piece of trash.
Yeah, and if you notice too, you took this picture right near the American flag, and I think when you ask me why I do it, that's another reason why, you know, our veterans have fought so hard to give us what we have today, and so I want to honor that by, you know, making sure that the country, our city, you know, remains clean and proud.
Right, absolutely. And our city, Malden, Massachusetts, now that you bring up the flag in the country, is one of the oldest cities in the country, right?
Yes, actually behind me is a copy of the town instructions from May 27th, 1776.
Yeah.
So I look at that every day in addition to picking up when I come into work. And it serves as a reminder of, you know, just what a great city we live in, because when the call went out from the Second Continental Congress, Malden was the first to answer the call that they wanted to be part of a free and independent nation. So I also feel, you know, on a daily basis, don't ever forget that.
Yeah, it's Malden's. I've lived here since 4th grade. I was in Medford until before then, but we don't have to talk about Medford.
That's right.
Yeah.
Only on Thanksgiving Day when we beat 'em.
Exactly. It really, to me, I know obviously I'm a little biased, but Malden's a really just all-American city. It really has absolutely everything that you could think of. It has, you know, the old industry where it's trying to transition into the new age, all the diversity that's here, Boston being so historic, and we're just right outside of Boston. It's really fun to live here.
Well, you know what they say, all roads lead back to our city. And that's how I feel as well, that, you know, it has a lot of history, you know, it has a great future ahead of it, and, you know, a lot in between. So,
Beautiful.
yeah.
And you got to keep it clean.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think in Bobby Knox, our public works director, you know, when people get up in the morning and they get going, that's your one opportunity to, you know, to give them something.
Really make an impact.
Yeah, make it a good impression. Now, we know during the day in the hustle and bustle, things will get dirty, and, you know, you give it one more whirl at night, and then you start all over again the next day. That's the idea behind it.
Every little bit helps.
That's why we street sweep every day.
Of course, absolutely. So, walk to work, we're picking up trash, you finally get to work, you take your gloves off, wash your hands, throw the trash away, and this was the first event of that day. Does this ring a bell? Do you remember what's going on here?
Yes, this is the City Hall monthly meeting.
Monthly meeting?
Yes.
Okay.
So
these are all City Hall employees here?
Yes. Yeah, we've tried to make it a priority that there's an opportunity for me to meet with all of our staff. So this is a loosely, maybe an hour or so coffee hour that employees can come up and hear what's going on in the government or in the city, and I get to hear what's going on with them and any issues that they may have.
Are these all heads of different departments?
Nope. These are just our employees. So these are not the directors. We have department head meetings every 2 weeks.
That's a separate thing.
Yes, every 2 weeks.
Okay.
This is more to make we don't lose. We have a strong connection with all of our employees, so anybody can attend. And
any employee or any
employee,
citizen?
any employee.
Gotcha.
It is on the monthly calendar, I suppose. If people wanted to, you know, if the press wanted to come in, they could.
Right.
But you know, we wanted to make sure that there was a connection, because sometimes, at least my experience has been watching other elected officials throughout my time, you know, you don't want to lose that connection between your employees, and that's why we make sure that we do this 10 months out of the year. So we do it from September to June, you know, and then we take summers off.
Gotcha.
I'm still accessible by email and all that, but we don't have the formal meeting like you see in this picture. But it's been helpful. They've given me some suggestions that we've implemented.
I was just about to ask, anything specifically that you can recall that has come from a meeting like this, or even the biweekly department meetings?
Yeah, like for instance, at this meeting here, I think they saw something that was incorrect in one of our ordinances. I brought it to the attention of the appropriate people, and in fact, they were right. So we were able to correct that.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's been very helpful for me, because, you know, again, you can't lose that connection. And in this business, you know, as you're in office, you know, you're the CEO, it's easy. It would be easy to do that. So we make it a point,
especially with the
every
city this
month,
large too.
same time, our employees have a chance, you know, to hear for themselves what's going on around them and what's happening from within.
Nice.
So that's the idea behind it.
So you mentioned CEO. Does it feel like you're a CEO, or what would you think is the difference between mayor and CEO?
I'm not sure. I just feel like I'm, one of the employees. That's it. I feel like I'm I'm a part.
Mm-hmm. I'm
not above.
Yeah.
I'm side by side.
It's a whole team.
Yeah, I never think of myself as the CEO or the mayor.
Mm-hmm.
But just to give you some context, that's why I use the term. But I feel like I'm equal to everyone else in the organization.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
You got a nicer suit, though.
Yeah.
No offense to anybody else.
Yeah, no.
Beautiful. So after that, we attended, well, I'll let you tell us here. Does this ring a bell?
Yes, it does. That's the annual Pathways graduation at Malden High School. And this is a precursor to the actual graduation at McDonald Stadium.
Okay.
And so it's for students who have struggled during high school, but thanks to the educators there, they've come up with a program that allows them to feel comfortable and to be able to learn and earn their credits.
Mm-hmm. About how many students
still
would be at
graduate.
this one?
I think on average per year, maybe 20 to 25, I believe.
Nice.
So
just giving those students a little extra boost and
yeah, giving them an opportunity.
Yeah.
I think 20, 30 years ago, before ed reform, or they might have just said, that's a problematic student, we can't help. So
just wash your
that's
hands.
it.
About
Wash your hands.
Yeah.
But Malden High School does not do that, and thankfully, it's one of the ceremonies I look forward to because back to that mantra about hard work and education, dedication. It's here.
Mm-hmm.
When you hear some of these stories, it's amazing.
Yeah.
What some of these students have had.
Some kids just don't have it easy.
Exactly right.
Right.
Whether it's family, whether it's work,
Right.
whether
That's almost always, I think, the start of the issues, the problem. It's not to just say a kid has a problem child, or just to cast them aside and say we can't do anything with them. Kind of a cop out, as we just said. It's nice to know that there are people that care, programs that care, that can cater to students like this.
Yeah, this is something that they don't have to do.
Right.
This is something that they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if you recall from that day, a lot of emotion in that.
Yeah, for sure. Parents are just
crying.
elated.
Yeah. So
one question I had just from this photo specifically was public speaking. How do you get nervous speaking in front of large crowds? Were you more nervous now as opposed to when you started? Any tricks that you've learned since becoming mayor?
That's a good question. I suppose practice makes perfect, but I think the key to not being nervous, be prepared.
Mm-hmm.
So we've tried to make it a point that we just don't roll in and try to come up with something a minute or two in advance.
Mm-hmm.
We try days, if not weeks, to prepare something.
Just to know what message you're there
Yeah,
to
exactly.
actually talk about.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not, I've never been a fan of just showing up and saying, I'm so-and-so, congratulations,
Mm-hmm.
have a great day.
Right.
We try to come up with a message. And so, whatever the issue is of the day, we try to, come up with a lesson or advice
Based on that, yeah.
that these students can take going forward.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. I do have one more photo from that day as well. Let's pull it up next to it. I just noticed you always seem to have this childlike grin about you sometimes, which is what's going on here. Do you remember what this conversation was between you and this young man? I believe he was a graduate that day as well.
Yes, that's correct. I still see him around town.
Yeah, I see him walking up and down the streets too. Yeah.
I think it was just something about how proud I was of him.
Yeah.
And
It's genuine. You can tell,
Yeah, he gave a good speech.
Yep.
I liked his presence up there, and I just tried to, I think, encourage him to keep it going. Don't stop today.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get caught up. It's a great ceremony, but don't stop now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He's coming for your job. He wants to be mayor.
Yeah.
Actually, I did have one more question. When it comes to questions that you get asked by young kids or children compared to adults, is it refreshing to talk to kids 18 and younger compared to adults? Because I assume he's not asking you about the trash program or anything that's gonna.
Yeah, I would say after 6 years, it's probably been the greatest reward has been getting to know a lot of the students in the Malden Public Schools and our other schools for that matter, Mystic Valley Regional Charter School, Malden Catholic Service. Just because I'm now able to share, what I was able to do thanks to the education I received, and that if they too do it, they can be mayor one day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Beautiful. All right. Next photo here, we got who do we have here? Or what's going on here?
The one and only.
The one and only.
Yep, Maria Luis, our
Yep.
chief of staff, and I think I was bringing back coffee. that day, if I'm not mistaken.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, and the reason I do that is because it's one way of saying thank you for the amazing job that she does for the mayor's office in the city of Malden. I've learned after several years now, it's not really about who the mayor is or, what city council is working, but it's really about the people around
Absolutely.
the city council and the mayor.
And you're taking care of them.
Try to in small ways.
Do you know how she takes her coffee, or do you have to ask?
Yeah, black extra ice.
Nice.
So again, we try to do small things like
Yeah.
that, just to say we appreciate what it is you do for. Say, I mean, we'd like to do more in terms of money, but as you know, our budget
It's only
doesn't
so
really
much you
allow
can do.
that.
Yep.
So we try to do it in small ways like this.
Nice. And what is, as chief of staff, what is her role? Like, what is her day-to-day sort of?
I guess the question would be, what isn't her role?
Yeah.
She does just about everything, and so she needs a lot of energy, and so that was the reason why we brought back. I think there might have been a turbo shot in that, if I'm not mistaken. But
Cool. That was just a little throwaway. Figured
Sure.
All right. And then you are constantly zipping around, meeting to meeting,
Yep.
running around. I'm not sure. I think you were heading into a meeting that I wasn't able to go into. I think it was with maybe the past superintendent. I think that's what's going on here.
Okay. Yeah, probably. We have a lot of individual meetings in addition to our department head meetings with the superintendent, the police chief, the fire chief.
Is that where a lot of the meat of the work gets
Yes.
done? Yeah.
And again, after 6 years, you would think, maybe I could ease up a little bit, but I think once you do that,
Yeah.
things can easily fall apart. So we, for instance, our police chief every Tuesday morning, 9 a.m. right here, year round.
Every single week, year round. Yeah.
Yep. Superintendent.
Is that something you've done from the start?
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
Definitely 5 years or so, but pretty much for the entire
Yeah.
time. And that's the reason why we do it, is to make sure that there's close coordination on what's happening in our city.
Yeah, you got to have your finger on the pulse for sure.
I get to understand what their challenges are and try to help them as best I can. I get to tell them what I'm hearing out in the city, and so it's the only way to do it right.
Yeah, that makes sense. So my question here is, when you finally find yourself with a spare 15 or 20 minutes, what do you do? What do you find yourself doing when you have a little bit of free time?
That's a good question. I don't know if there is such a thing, but if there is, I might grab a few Pokémon.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll save that question is going to come up later.
All right.
Yeah.
I just try to collect my thoughts,
Yeah.
really, truly.
Just kind of clear your head a little
Yeah,
bit.
exactly.
Right.
That's
bit
what I
of
try to do.
A little mini meditation almost.
Yeah, and again, you were asking a few pictures ago about the walk. That
Yeah.
also helps.
Yeah, I notice every time you start walking, earbuds go in.
Yep.
Are you listening to music, or is that just to kind of hide yourself from?
You'd never guess it, but I'm listening to another Malden High School
I
graduate.
think I would have guessed it, actually.
Oh, yeah, you would have, yeah.
Yeah. But I'll let you say it.
DJ Dres.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I forget what year he graduated.
He was 04 with Breno, actually.
Oh, Breno. Okay. Yeah. So I met him at one of Breno's camps, I believe, and so I started listening to him and have never stopped since.
He's
amazing.
One of the best DJs,
Yeah.
Honestly, that I've ever met.
Yeah, and I
He's
like what he does
fantastic,
in his app. He updates the music,
Mhm.
so it's not
he's
just the
constantly
same.
working.
Yeah.
He's grinding.
Yeah.
He really is.
Yeah.
Actually, me and Marco here, camera guy Marco, shot his baby shower last week. So we were,
No kidding, huh?
We're always working. We're photographing weddings together and all that. So
Yeah, you could do a podcast with him.
yeah, I should actually. That's a good call.
Yeah.
That's funny. DJ Dres.
Yep.
Shout out DJ Dres.
Yes.
So actually, on the next photos here, we'll start with this one. So this is just kind of a repetitive photo here.
Yeah.
The bag and the trash is just one thing, but now you're doing everybody's recycling too?
Yeah.
Is that what's happening?
I can't remember with this one either.
I think it was just out of place, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Or
right.
they put it out too soon, or
Yeah,
a day later.
I think it was they put it out too soon.
Yeah.
So I was kindly putting it back
Yeah.
on their property.
And I noticed, is that Pokémon Go on the screen, or
That could be.
or is that just a regular GPS? I'm willing to bet it's a Pokémon Go.
Oh yeah, it sure is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I see the map.
What are some hubs for that? What are some good spots around Malden?
Everywhere.
Yeah?
Yeah, in particular, Bell Rock Memorial Park.
That's right.
Yeah,
When the game first came out, there was hundreds of
Oh,
people
yeah.
at Bell Rock Park. It
Yeah.
was crazy.
Waits Mount, Lincoln Commons.
Just
Those
all
are-
the fields, the parks.
Yeah, I would say
gathering
so.
spots, right?
Pine Banks Park. Those are all pretty decent spots. But I think what was happening here, I was putting the bin back because it was out too early or it was out too late. I can't remember. But again, small potatoes.
Right.
But, you know, my dad said growing up, appearance is a lot of it. So, you know, if that thing's kicking around, wind gets at it, who knows?
Yeah.
So that's why I did it.
Very nice. And then similar photo. It's funny, every picture has a trash back here. So I just wanted to call attention to, obviously you have a broken tree branch on the grounds and you're taking a picture of it.
Yep.
So I know, well, I'll let you explain, what's the deal with we have some apps that you guys use as far as reporting things like that, graffiti and
Right.
whatever it may be?
Yeah, I think it was 2012 or 2013. You know, one of the charges that we came in with was to improve communication. So we found this application called See, Click, Fix. And so what it means is literally if you see it, take a picture, click a picture, and the city will fix it.
Nice. It
And
goes to the
so-
proper department, or?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you would take the picture, and then it gives you a menu of the different categories: potholes, yard waste pickup, tree limbs in this case being down, and it routes it to the appropriate department. Now, when the department addresses the matter and they close it, you get a notification that the issue's been resolved.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
So
It
it's
gives
not
you the
just for
date and time.
internal for you and the staff here, it's anybody can just
For the
download the app and
public,
use it? Yeah.
absolutely. Free app on both the Android and Apple.
And have you noticed the usage on those have gone up?
We're probably top 10 in this country.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
1 point. I think we have the #1 tag.
That's impressive.
Yeah. So I've encouraged all of our department heads, you know, to make use of it as
Yeah.
well as the public.
It's a great idea.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a complete panacea, but I think it's definitely helped improve, you know, the interaction between the public and the city.
Right, and it makes everyone feel a little more like it's it's their city too. Some people feel helpless sometimes, like
Yep.
there's problems. Who do I talk to? I talk to somebody, nothing happens.
Yeah.
So with this, it's just like
Yeah, for me, I get to run reports, and I can ask department heads, you know, why is this ticket over 21 days old? What's the holdup with this ticket? I can, you know, track now. Before it was you call, find someone, they'll write it down, they'll get it to the appropriate
Yeah,
department.
yeah.
Appropriate department will go out and address it, and you'd never know if it was. You know, this is all tracked. And it's
Technology.
simple, too. I mean, if you notice right then and there, I took the picture, I hit the next button, put it under tree limb down, hit send.
that's it.
That's it. Right.
Technology is amazing.
It is, yeah. We've had really, now some cities and towns, I don't know if they have had as much luck as we have, but you have to embrace it. You know, you just can't download it and, you know, let it sit. So we've really tried to be
Stay active with it.
engaging
Yeah.
in it. Yeah, so
And it's worked out.
without a doubt.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yep. Still to this day.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're still using it. I think it's been over 5 years now.
Wow.
Yeah.
What do you find? Is it mostly like from the citizens? What do most citizens respond to?
Yeah, good question. I would say potholes,
Yeah, that makes sense.
trees, tree limbs.
People take pictures of their parking tickets and be like, "What?" I don't
No,
know."
no. We do have an app now for parking, but yeah, I would say mainly it's infrastructure stuff,
Yeah.
trash, illegal dumping.
That
You
goes
know.
straight to your personal cell phone, the trash.
I see.
And you come by with your own bag.
Yeah. You would think, but I see all of them.
Yeah.
So I'm set up where I see every ticket submitted,
Mm-hmm.
and again, that gives me an opportunity to get a feel of what's going on out there, and you know, I think for the directors and the department heads, it gives them a chance to figure out, you know, how to deploy their resources. So,
Right,
for
right.
instance, potholes. You get a call, you go do the pothole. You get another call, you go do the pothole. Now, what Bob Knox, our director, is able to do is the night before, run a query on the potholes and map them out. So the staff is going circular,
Right.
you know,
Just
and
to
not
attack
going
them,
to the east side and to
prioritize
the
them.
west, and then back to the east, back to the west. Now they can have a route to do them.
Yeah, that makes
So it
a lot
makes
of
it a little
sense.
bit more efficient, and it's worked well.
That's great.
Yeah.
It really is great. Let's see. This is my favorite picture. Just let you take a peek in.
Oh yeah.
So
Now that hasn't changed.
these two ladies are absolutely astonished by what would you call this?
I don't even know anymore. It used to be what they call a list of things to do. But as you could see there,
it looks like, I wouldn't even know how to describe it. It looks like if I tried to do all of my homework from high school on one piece of paper, that's probably what it would look like.
You're not alone.
Yeah. So this is just your to-do list?
Yep.
Little just reminders.
Like you were saying about walking and being out in the city, one of the things is you truly hear what's going on, as evidenced by that list of items. So I try to, have something on me at all times. If someone says that they need help, I try to jot it down. That's it. Shorthand. People say, why don't you just use the phone? It's a little bit, difficult.
I'm with you on that.
With the keyboard.
Pen and paper is where it's at.
Yeah. Plus you can write shorthand, although sometimes you forget what you wrote. But for the most part, it's quick.
Yeah, and it's effective.
And I think people like seeing you make a note. They don't see that as much on the phone. They think you're texting.
They just don't know,
Yeah, so whereas here, they actually see the pen and paper out.
Yeah.
I think they like it. But it served me well. It's something that I started when I was on the city council, although back then it was a postcard.
Yeah.
But when I became mayor, I had to step it up.
So when you're president, you're just going to have a huge...
poster board.
It's just going to get big.
Yeah, poster board.
Sandwich board.
That is a great picture.
Is this one day of notes, 1 week? How do you organize that?
Yeah, good question. Just when I run out of space. So I actually still have a folder of all of them.
Do you, that was actually my next question.
Yeah.
Do you save them? Yeah.
Yes, I do.
And why?
You never know. 4 months from now, someone might have said, "Hey, you never took care of this." I get to look back, although it's painstaking because you got to find out where it is.
Right. I was gonna say, do you log them somehow?
No, right in the folder.
Just right.
But you never know. There's a phone number I forgot to write down on the next piece of paper. I can go back and get it. And then I don't know, just because also it's a great keepsake, to be able to look back one day. Yeah.
It's like just a little chronology of your whole career.
Yeah, I would say so.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So where is this photo taken? Do you remember what was going on here?
That's why I've been staring at it.
I can help you out.
It looks. Is it a concert?
It was the meeting for the window replacement at
59 Green.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So that was in the community room.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Beautiful room, by the way.
Yep. I was just there the other day for their holiday celebration.
They were redoing the windows and the whole.
Yep.
The whole.
Yeah. So I think there were some questions. Obviously, 59 Green Street had been part of Robert's Acute Cure for a long, long time. And Beacon Communities, I think it is, bought Robert's Acute Cure. So obviously, these residents have lived there a long time, a little nervous about change.
Right.
So I wanted to be there today to make sure they knew, we had their back.
What were some common concerns from the residents there?
How long would it take?
Right.
Would it disrupt their way of living? Was it going to mean an increase in rent?
Right.
Those sorts of questions.
And you find it's helpful for you to be there to kind of ease the questions, ease the transition, let them know that somebody from the city is actually there and hears you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. And I think Councilor Crowe was there as well, if I'm not mistaken. But yes.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. This was just so funny to me. Their reaction was like the same as everybody's reaction. I'm sure it's just like what is that? It was great. All right. Moving on. This one of many ribbon cuttings that take place in the city. Every month, it seems. Do you recall?
Was this KTV or Opus?
It was. I'll give you one more guess.
Don't. AT Gaming?
Yes.
AT Gaming.
Yeah,
okay, on Exchange Street to the right of the bistro. Yep. Yep.
So this was obviously a ribbon cutting they just opened. This was, you said 8D Gaming?
Yes.
So all those gaming places are taking off, it seems. So this one was a little different.
Yes.
They had, board games you can come in and just kind of relax, cafe style.
Yep.
But they also had the quests and
3 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a little bit different from Bodeborg, but I think that's the reason why they opened up. Was because of Bodeborg and their success.
Really?
In downtown Malden.
Yeah.
So they're still there. I was just there the other day. They seem to be doing well.
Nice.
Yeah.
There's one other photo from that as well. I'll just pull it. Just thought it was funny. Are you showing them your Pokemon?
Yeah, maybe. I can't.
I just like this photo. I just thought it was just kind of interesting. You're very personable with everybody you meet, which is always, it's an admirable trait, what you expect from a mayor. I like that you don't remember what you were showing.
Yeah. I can't. Yeah, maybe it was.
DJ Dres app or what?
Yeah, could have been.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but
I just like this photo. I mean, it was just a good little time.
Yeah, I tried to you know, that's another thing too. I mean, you could, if you see the picture on the right, you cut the ribbon, you leave. Try to spend time beyond that.
Right.
You know, to let the owners and the employees know that we appreciate making Malden.
It's not just a photo op.
Yeah, exactly. We try not to make it that.
Right.
You know, so that's why we get there a little bit ahead of time and stay a little bit after, to make certain that they know we really appreciate them taking a chance on us.
And have you, over the years, can you speak on the amount of businesses that have opened, or just, I guess basically, Malden has gone through, even from my life, a very young age, crazy transition. It seems it's definitely, from my perspective, it seems like a struggle to bring such an old city with old infrastructure, old streets into the new age, and you know, try to get businesses like this to move in and all the new apartments and things like that. So can you just touch on kind of where Malden was and where it's going, and how you're working to get there? I know it's a very broad question.
Yeah, it is. Well, people that are coming here, when I ask them why, location, location, location. So we've tried to take advantage of that fact by, you know, building around public transportation and catering to the new generation who wants to work, live, worship, shop, and have a multitude of ways to get around.
And it seems like you have everybody who wants to do all of those things. Like, I know there's just the diversity in the city is second to none, it seems. It's one of the most diverse cities in the country.
Yeah, and I think it's, you know, one of the reasons why that is because we're in a great location. So take the train, you're in Boston 12 minutes on a good day. You know, we have the commuter rail, last busing hub north of Boston, Logan Airport, Route 93, Route 1, et cetera. We're in a pretty good spot.
There's a lot going on, yeah.
So I think as a result, people feel good about, you know, living in our city.
Yeah.
And that's why one of our models is you could travel the world right here in 5 square miles.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's you thought of that?
I think so. I can't remember. Yeah, I think I did.
Okay.
Yeah, Kevin Duffy's was Dine in Malden, Taste the World. Mine is travel. You could, because
I like the first one a little better.
Travel the
Sorry,
world
Kevin.
in 5 square miles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is nice.
Yeah. So I think that's what's happened over the years.
There's just been a lot going on.
Yeah.
I remember doing, when I was in college, in photo school, 06, 07, just had to do a photo project, and I chose to do it on, you know, people think there's a lot of building going on now. Even when I did this project 12 years ago, I focused on all the new apartment buildings. What is it? Not Overlook Ridge. Where Star Market used to be.
Yep.
99, that big.
Broadway. Yep.
That complex there. The complex right up by the train tracks that has the tricolor. I forget the name of the street, but back then there was a lot of development going on.
Yep.
And it's just continued and continued and continued. I know some people aren't totally pleased with it, but
Without
I
a
know
doubt.
that's the struggle of your job, is trying to, you know, we can't stay stagnant forever as a city. And you can't please everybody.
Yep. So our philosophy has been to try and do as much development around the train station.
Yeah.
You know, if you look at the past 6 years, that's where most of it has occurred.
Right.
The exception of Overlook on the east side, you know, but that's
that
on
was
the
a
Riviera,
joint Riviera
Malden.
line, yeah.
But everything else has taken place near the train station,
And you think the future is bright?
without a doubt.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
Yeah, I try to meet and speak with people that are moving in, and I also try to speak with people that are moving out. You know, and so when I talk to people about moving out, I think one of the reasons is they just have come to a point where they want to downsize.
Yeah.
But people moving in, it's just it's a
new
great
and exciting
location,
time, yeah.
a lot of diversity, good restaurant scene,
And up and coming seems to just be an understatement.
affordable.
Yeah.
You know, when compared to other cities and towns.
Yeah. I'm really excited to see what it's going to look like in 5 years, 10 years.
Yeah.
It's very different than what it was, but it's also, like I said, it's necessary to adapt and change. The world's changing.
Right.
You know, and we're so close to Boston. The city just keeps expanding. So it makes sense.
Yep.
You know.
And we've tried to be mindful of it. I mean, we just haven't opened the floodgates and that's it. I mean, there's projects that we've spoken against and there's projects that we've spoken for. And
could you touch on anything there? What have you spoken against? Or
well, there was a proposal, I believe, to expand housing up at Granada Highlands.
Really?
There was
to add buildings specifically?
Yeah, to add additional units. The old former Ryan Family Amusements on Charles and Middlesex.
Housing there was proposed?
Yeah, originally.
But it's now going to be a brewery, right?
No, no longer. That
No?
actually
Okay.
got flipped to, I think it's going to be an office building.
I see. Okay.
But we've tried to be respectful.
Right.
But you're right. I mean,
It's a tough balance.
It is.
So I feel for you. That's
Right.
my point that I'm trying to get across. I understand that you can't please everybody,
right.
and there's only so much space. It's just a juggling act.
Right, and that's why we tried to keep our focus in the downtown, because if you ask some of the businesses, they believe the density being concentrated in the downtown is helping them
Yeah, that makes
immensely.
sense. Right. And
Yeah.
once Pleasant Street opens up, it's just going to
That's the hope, yeah.
It's a whole new world.
But Mystic Station, Hugh O'Neill's, Exchange Street Bistro,
Yeah.
they recently told me that their numbers are solid.
Beautiful.
And they think it's because now they have a plethora of people
Mhm.
living
Yeah, it's great.
right there.
I love it. I'm excited about it. So next photo, just switch topic a little bit, slightly. Are you playing center?
No, I'm lucky I'm on the court.
Yeah.
I think this is the Malden Neighborhood Basketball League Summer Jam, I believe.
I think so, yeah.
Although this could be Malden Rec's league too. Malden Rec started a middle school basketball league
Yeah.
that's held at
6th and 7th
Mizansu
grade,
Court. Yeah, yeah. So it could be that, but either way, we're just very fortunate to have Joe Levine and the Malden Rec Department
Mhm.
establish a middle school boys basketball league, and of course Malden Neighborhood Basketball League
Yeah.
doing the summer jam now, which is about, I don't know how many years it's been, over 5.
Really?
Yeah, and so I was just there to do the opening tip and to say thank you to them for doing it,
Yeah.
because they don't have to, they don't get paid for it,
Mhm.
but it's something that they think will help our youth.
Is this, I don't believe this was, but I know there's a league during the summertime where you have cops coach a team?
Yep, that's the Malden Rec Middle School Boys Basketball League.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a great program too.
Yeah, I can't tell. I think this is the middle school.
I'll give you a pass that you're not sure because it was a year and a half ago at this point.
Yeah, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's middle school.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you recall any, so I know you do a lot of like tip-offs like this, where you show up to just kick off an event, give a speech, whatever it may be. Is there anything that sticks out as, like your favorite jump ball, your favorite sort of speech that you've given to kick off an event, or just any kind of memorable moments where you're kind of called upon just to be, the icon of the city and present whatever is happening?
You're talking with respect to this league?
Sports.
In
sports,
general?
Yeah,
in general?
literally in general, yeah. Whether it be sports or any kind of event where you're there specifically to cut a ribbon, to throw the jump ball, to dig a shovel, anything that sticks out, groundbreaking.
I mean, they've all been rewarding in their own way.
Mhm.
I'm always going forward, so I never stop and really think about that.
Right. And there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
I'm sure you do multiple of these weeks,
Sure.
every week, every month,
Yeah, and I think they've all been great.
Yeah.
So there's not one in particular that I could think of right now. I suppose if I spent some time on it, I could. But
Yeah, but you do a lot of stuff.
Exactly.
Totally get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think once it's done, I'm moving forward.
Yeah.
You know,
I thought you were going to say you're moving out of the city. What do
No. Just I'm
I hear
right
you.
back on the
The
horse.
next thing,
Yeah.
There's something else to do.
Yeah.
I hear you. How important are youth sports?
Critical.
Yeah.
I mean, I still remember coming in 2012. Mayor Howard had told me on the way out, the city was at a crossroads, and if you remember, we had a real rash of violence in 2012.
Yeah.
So we decided as a city to really start honing in on the youth to make sure that they don't become a part of that. And so this is one of the ways we did it, with establishing a Malden Recreation Department, again led by Joe Levine, Laura Perez, and they have a bunch of volunteers.
I coach myself.
Yep, so you know.
Pat myself on the
Yeah. And then we have the Malden Teen Enrichment Center across the street. That's led by Kathy McMullen.
And that's been going great for years
Great.
now. Yeah.
They're in there. They just had their 50th birthday,
That's
50th
great.
anniversary.
Yeah, I remember when they were building that out. And
Yeah, oh yeah.
It's beautiful. It's come a long
Still.
way.
So back to moments you'll remember. I suppose that's one.
Yeah.
If you
that is a huge milestone.
Oh, yeah.
The teen center.
right.
And
Because
is that unique to Malden? Do other cities have something like that?
I'd say it's unique. I think some cities and towns contract it out to like a boys and girls club.
Right. Okay.
Ours is really run internally by the people. And it also, what was great about that is it came from the people. The idea emanated from a group of students at Malden High School. That's
It's
how it all
really?
got going. Yeah.
Really?
So, and then we have a really robust summer jobs program. So, led by Karen Hayes up at the senior center. So that was the goal. That was the thinking back in 2012, and I can tell you 5 years later, it's succeeded. Chief Kevin Mullis told me you could give them 1,000 cops, but if you don't have programs like this,
you got to keep the kids busy.
Yeah,
absolutely, makes sense. I played basketball. I played, I was in band. I did all that stuff growing up. I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Right.
It's fun first and foremost, but you don't realize it until you're out of the system, so to speak, older, adults at this point. You look back on it, and me personally, I realize that it really has an effect on who you become as a person, seeing the people in the community, who the leaders are, who you can look up to, as opposed to not having that stuff and you're just left to maybe roam the streets. Who knows?
Right.
Who knows? We'll just say that, but crucial.
Right.
And I've noticed, it seems, I don't know if it's the internet or not, but youth sports numbers have dropped. And it seems like the numbers in Pop Warner football have gone down.
They have.
Which is a shame. But I feel like that's partly just the world's changing. The internet is playing a big role.
It's not because of a lack of interest. It's more the concern about injury.
With football specifically, of course. That makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, and like you were saying a few questions ago about the city changing, big soccer town now.
That's true, too.
Yeah.
Great soccer team at the high school, right?
Yep, the Malden High School girls varsity just broke the school record by going 15-2-1.
Really? So that's the best
best
season?
record ever, school history.
Wow.
Yeah, so
that's amazing.
Soccer's taken off.
Yeah.
And they have flag football now. That's pretty popular.
That's just going to get bigger and bigger, I
think.
Yes.
Yeah, they used to do just a fall league, but now I think it was just spring league. Now they have fall league too, because of the numbers.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a future.
Yeah.
Sports aren't going away.
Right.
All right, last photo here. You and your future constituents. Just obviously had to block out some of the faces, but I just like this photo. It's if you block out these people and you see just you don't know. You could be talking to the president.
Yeah.
You don't know, but these are 7, 8-year-old kids, and you're still showing them the same interest, the same respect, probably asking the same questions you would ask of anybody else.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily have a question to go with this photo. I just thought it was just fascinating to see. Do you remember this day where you were?
I don't, but I do remember every chance I get, I try to interact with our students because, pretty soon they'll be in charge, and so I just try to, do what I can to help set the stage for them.
So he was not complaining about a parking ticket?
I can't remember. It looks like he might have, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
That's all. I just like that photo real quick. So, so that's the photos. I mean, a year and a half ago at this point, it was a long time ago. We've known each other for a long time, so this is a relatively easy conversation. But is there anything else that you wanted to touch upon, or any message you wanted to get out there? Or?
No, probably end by how I began, which is, despite this topsy-turvy world that we live in, it's still about dreams. It's still about working hard, and it's still about achieving. So I think I just want to encourage, our viewers and the students in particular, work hard, dedicate yourself, good things will happen. And I think also just want to thank you and Marco for helping to get out the word of what's happening within Malden City government.
There's a lot of great things going on.
Yeah, we can do them, but unless people are talking about them and sharing them.
Right, being proactive about everything. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We're happy to be here.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Happy to talk with you.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, everybody. Peace.